This is the 8 of Swords for a potential block or challenge. One of my favorite versions, I've said it before, we see here that here she is, and we see how she looks. This is what she sees in the mirror, okay? So there's something that's feeling very limited. There's something that's feeling like we don't have many options, or we can't really move in a situation where we're feeling powerless, but in reality, we actually have more power than we realize. There's more to be seen. And so it's so brilliantly depicted here with the mirror image of what we see in the mirror versus reality. And that has been coming up so much on messages that are coming through. Not only what we see in the mirror ourselves, but the way that we interpret other people and what they may be projecting and what we're seeing in their reflection versus reality, you know, and really starting to get some clarity on all of those things. So a potential block or challenge could be something coming up for you this week where you feel like your options are few, or you're literally, your hands are tied, right? And also, again, crows. As the swords, it's like the peanut gallery, the calling, the voices, all the opinions. They can be internal or external. So if there's a lot of chatter, if there's a lot of competing energies that are very distracting, it's hard to get back to center and have clarity, then there's an opportunity for us to cut out of that binding, that perceived binding. So bringing it into a practical way that it might show up for us, anything that has you feeling bound, anything that has you feeling like there's really limited options, that's an opportunity. It's an indicator to say, let me step back and see how this thing may be actually providing for me just what I need, reflecting back to me something that's going to enable me to free myself of something that has been very binding or trapping for me. So that is coming in as out too, as I often do with this card, we see this reflection, but it's not the same person. So it's giving me a nod to the potential block or challenge this week as far as something different than what meets the eye, like what we think we're seeing or what we think in a situation, and it actually, there being more to it for us to see. And in that process of seeing more to it, it creates better balance. It brings through some clarity. With that sword, it's like cutting through and bringing in truth. So there's something, now again, like I said, it could be like a legal issue or question or something in the realm of law, or in karmic balancing through relationships and things that could be coming up for you. But again, I felt earlier the message of, seeing other people and thinking that things are a certain way, and then actually behind the scenes it's different, so it's like a situation that could be coming up, that there's this reflective property between you and them, or what you're seeing and then what the reality is, and there's a balancing happening there. So it could show up in a number of different ways, but I do feel that these two are connected. So this was a potential block or challenge this week, not being able to see, not knowing, not having that clarity. Here we see clarity coming in, we see balance coming in. Potential block or challenge this week, right? So again, we've seen her before, this perception, this reflection of being bound or stuck or in some way limited, and like, this is it, like this is what I have to work with, or this is what I'm doing, or whatever. And it could be anything. It could really just be like, having to do stuff that you don't really want to do, and just being like, having to work yourself up to do them, or it could really be just like having an overall sense of like discontent with something or a situation or something in our life that is coming in. Let the discontentment be the thing, like I was saying earlier about these squeaky wheels that come up. If we find ourselves feeling unenthused, having an opportunity to look again at how we might be able to breathe some new life into that, and see that there's actually some tools or resources or something just here within our reach that we didn't realize. We might be missing it because we're hyper-focused on something that is not fulfilling. So don't let anyone steal your joy, right? Not even our sneaky selves. That's generally my association with this particular version of this card, which is going to tie into the 8 of Swords, 7 of Swords and 8 of Swords. So there's this, again, perception of feeling limited and bound and in some way even shortchanged, right? Shortchanged in some way. I just want to do this thing or that, and if I am blocked in some way, if I'm challenged in some way, it's super frustrating. This is something that's very hard for me. That's how I'm feeling it. So that's why I'm saying it to you. It's like, you know, I have a particular plan for my day, and this is something that's like next to impossible when we have small children, as far as being able to just have a thing we want to do and just doing it. I'm feeling this like it's so hard because it's like running in place of trying to do things and getting pulled back or feeling shortchanged in our ability to do the things for ourselves. We're being present with that because we know that there's these various stages and places that we are in our life. Oh my, I know, so true, and it's hilarious, and maybe there's some comfort to be found in the fact that we all know. And also from those who have already experienced it maybe so long ago, that can. The Judgment card is asking us to take a look at the way that we have been judged or have felt judged, but also how we have judged ourselves and others, you know, judgment, criticism, you know, all that heavy energy, and they're false. Those are false layers. It's like, this is the 8 of Swords. It's the reflection in the mirror that looks like all that tangled up mess, being bound, being beholden to a particular identity, a particular, you know, reality. Yeah,